just beneath the streets of New York City, the country's largest public works project.
It's one of the most challenging jobs I've been on in 23 years of mining.
A dramatic $15 billion expansion of one of the largest public transportation systems in the world. Digging 2 new subway lines and expanding the largest train station on Earth by blasting under its basement.
That is an extraordinary amount of dynamite.
With 2,500 workers.
Let's go. We gotta move.
1,000 tons of explosives. And groundbreaking equipment.
Look at that. It's like construction yoga.
To tunnel through 10 miles of some of the toughest bedrock on the planet.
This is bedrock, yes. This is the real stuff. This is Manhattan shit.
All while keeping New York City moving 24/7.
We manufacture a product that we know to exceed the requirements of all construction specifications.
All of our DTIs, standard DTIs and our squirter DTIs, they're all made to the ASTM F959 specification, and they're all certified to that. The addition of the silicone is an item from Applied Bolting to make inspection for the ironworkers and for the inspectors visual.
Applied Bolting is a small company, but we're a small company of big people.
It's amazing to think that this Vermont-based company, our squirter DTIs end up in Kentucky, Florida, Edmonton, to New Zealand, to Australia, then through Dubai, Oman, and then we go to these places around the world and do our squirter DTI field bolting clinic. We learn a lot from working with the ironworkers. We know a lot about DTIs, but to know how they employ it, how they use squirter DTIs in the field, we learn more about our product and we can make it better because of that.
Singapore is just 14 miles long. And with literally nowhere else to expand, this tiny island is increasing its footprint by actually filling in the sea, creating almost 1,000 acres of land on which to build an entirely new downtown.
So this is a radically different skyline in just 5 years' time.
Yes.
Singapore's evolution involved 30 years of land reclamation, followed by 5 years of construction, all culminating with the Marina Bay Sands.
Rather than just being kind of a traditional hotel and casino that we might find in Vegas, instead, we have a museum, you have theaters, you have retail, you have a casino, massive convention center, 3 incredible hotels, and all of that capped by the first ever Sky Park.
That is absolutely right. The Sky Park on the very top will become the icon of Singapore, we think.
In a move that has never been done before, world-famous architect Moshe Safdie put a park across the top of 3 massive skyscrapers. An 1,100-foot-long urban oasis with tropical gardens and one of the longest swimming pools on Earth. All of it perched 55 stories above the ground.
The story of the computer revolution is the story of the shrinking switch. Early computers used mechanical relays and vacuum tubes as switches. Building a machine with just a few thousand took up rooms of space. But the silicon transistor changed all that. Because it's a material, not a machine, it's easy to shrink.
The exciting part about silicon transistors is we're actually using the atomic properties of the silicon. So rather than actually having to craft something to build the switch, to build the pieces, to build the spring, I actually, by doing some smart engineering, can get the electrons to flow by using the properties of the atom.
All right, so you're saying that one beauty of silicon is that you can cut it in half and it's still silicon. And you could slice it again,
Exactly.
smaller and smaller and smaller, but it still does just as good a job of passing along the ones and zeros.
Absolutely.
Which is not something you could do to make mechanical switches smaller, right? Like if I wanted to make this smaller, you know, I can't just go like this.
Wow.
I can have a smaller one. Clearly, this is not going to be a smaller good switch.
Right.
Here in Chicago, Donald Trump is making a bold move. attempting a landmark tower in the city that invented the skyscraper. And the man has a lot at stake.
In the end, I hope it's going to be appreciated by architectural critics and by the city.
Trump has punched his way into new territory, a real estate development that's got a shot at becoming a landmark. With a curving profile of vertical lines and setbacks that is stunning to the eye, but also a cleverly engineered dancing form designed to trick the Chicago winds. All in an $850 million combination hotel and residential tower that will hold the most expensive real estate in the city.
This could be the best thing I've ever done.
To help people come home, actor Brad Pitt founded an organization called Make It Right. Their mission, build 150 cutting-edge homes, safer and more sustainable than ever before, starting in the most devastated neighborhood in New Orleans. New Orleans architecture is famous for having invented something called the shotgun house, and this is it. Now, the Make It Right houses, while they might look really different, are born out of the same New Orleans conditions. Key elements are super short front facade, as short as 12 feet, super long side facade, as much as 5 times as long, extra tall ceilings to keep you cool on New Orleans nights, and windows located along the side to facilitate cross ventilation.